get ready for a quick quest guide for the Legends quest, in which the main rewards for completing are access to the Legends Guild, the ability to wear the Dragon Square Shield, access to the Kharazi jungle, 4 lots of 30,000 experience that can be put into select skills, most notably Herblore or Agility, as well as 4 quest points. In terms of quest requirements, you'll need to have completed the Heroes Quest, Family Crest, Shilo Village, Underground Pass, and additionally the Waterfall Quest. On top of these requirements, you'll also need to have at least 107 total quest points. While not required, having completed the Plague City quest as well to unlock Ardougne teleports is quite helpful. When it comes to skill requirements, there's a lot. You'll need to have level 56 magic, 52 mining, 50 woodcutting, 50 thieving, 50 strength, 50 smithing, 50 agility, 50 crafting, 45 herblore, and 42 prayer. Of these requirements, it can be quite helpful to have a few levels above the minimum required, particularly for mining, strength, and prayer. Now, while 42 prayer is required, I would highly suggest getting at least one more level to 43 before doing this quest, which will make it a lot easier. If you're doing this quest at 42 prayer, then I'd recommend a ranged setup so that you can force the demon to attack you with magic. But note that the final fight could have a clutch moment or two. While not required, know that 65 combat is officially recommended for this quest, which most notably will see you need to defeat a level 187 demon 3 times. Now let's talk items, and there's a lot that you'll need. Firstly, you'll want around 5k coins to cover any and all travel costs, as well as 6 gold bars, a hammer, a rope, a rune or dragon axe, any pickaxe that you can use, 3 lockpicks, a vial of water, an unpowered orb, and one of each gem, being a cut sapphire, emerald, ruby, diamond, opal, jade, and red topaz. You'll also want 6 papyrus, which can optionally be obtained during the quest, as well as 4 charcoal. When it comes to runes, you'll want 1 soul rune, 1 mind rune, 1 earth rune, 2 lore runes, 3 cosmic runes, and 30 water runes. And you'll additionally want to make sure that you're on the standard spellbook. You'll also need an Ardougne and snakeweed, which you may have picked up while completing the jungle potion quest. However, if you don't have these, then I'd suggest taking a few minutes to obtain them before starting the quest. To obtain Ardougne, you'll want to make your way to the middle north of mainland Karamja before searching one of the large palm trees near the harpy bug swarms. The large, most southwestern palm tree is a good option. Then to get snakeweed, you'll need to head to the west coast of Karamja, just southwest of the Tybro One-Eye village. Here you'll see some large vines, and nearby to them will be some marshy jungle vines. Select to search these vines, and after some time you'll get some snakeweed. The best teleport to get to these locations, provided you've completed the Tybro One-Eye village quest, is to use a Tybro One-Eye teleport scroll. From here you can run northeast to obtain the Ardougne and southwest to obtain the snakeweed. If you don't have access to this teleport, then I'll pop on screen a range of additional options for getting to the large Karamja mainland, from which you can just run to these locations. Now, on top of these needed items, there's also a lot more that I'd recommend. Notably, you'll want a mix of weight reducing armor and defensive armor, as well as a weapon of choice. Ideally, go for a ranged or melee setup, with a ranging setup preferable if you don't have access to protect from melee. Of course, if you're going ranged, make sure that you don't forget your ammo. The boss is weak to Demon Bane weapons should you have them, and while it has a 10% water spell weakness, I feel that magic isn't the best style to go for because the demon is rather resistant to it. Additionally, at some points in the quest, inventory space is tight and you really don't want to have to bring along runes. This being said, if your melee and range stats are bad, then magic is an option and you'll want to use your best water spell. In terms of food, you'll want around 25 pieces of high healing food, and I'd suggest summer pies here as they heal 22 points per inventory space and boost your agility level by 5 when eaten, which will come in handy. You'll also want a number of potions, including around 4 stamina potions, 3 super restore potions, 8 prayer potions, and 2 potions to boost the combat style of your choice. So for example, a ranging potion if you plan on using ranged. Then in terms of teleports, you'll want 4 teleports to either Ardougne, which does require the Plague City quest, or alternatively if you have 40 construction, then to Brimhaven by using a Brimhaven teleport that's made by using a scroll of redirection on a house teleport, or alternatively a house teleport if your house is located in Brimhaven. If you don't have access to either of these teleports, then you'll want a fully charged Amulet of Glory instead. You will then want 1 teleport strictly to Ardougne. However, if needed, this can be substituted with a charged combat bracelet. Note that this means that if you're using Ardougne teleports for everything so far, then you'll need 5 in total. Then you'll also want 1 teleport to Varrock, and finally a fully charged Ring of Dueling. Now of course you'll need different items at different times, and let's go through our starting out setup, which will include your coins, 4 charcoal, your 6 papyrus, which you can alternatively obtain along the way, 2 gold bars, a hammer, and a rune or dragon axe. You'll also want to be wearing a mixture of defensive and weight reducing armor, and have on you 1 stamina potion and 1 super restore potion. Then bring along around 4 pieces of high healing food. Once again, summer pies are a great option as they'll boost your agility level and restore some run energy when eaten. When it comes to teleports, you'll want 1 to Ardougne or to the Brimhaven house portal, or alternatively a charged glory if you don't have access to these, as well as 1 teleport to Varrock, and it's a good idea to be wearing your charged Ring of Dueling too. Finally, know that you'll want around 4 free inventory spaces at the quest start, or 10 empty inventory spaces if you're obtaining the papyrus yourself. Now we'll be starting this quest just outside of the Legends Guild, located northeast of Ardougne, which is easily reached by teleporting to Ardougne and running northeast, or by using a charged combat bracelet and running southeast. Once here, talk to one of the Legends guards and firstly ask, "Can I speak to someone in charge?" Then follow up with, "Can I go on the quest?" And finally say, "Yes, I'd like to talk to Grand Vizier Urkel," which will see you autonomously enter into the guild's gardens. Now run a little north before heading into the small building to your west. Once inside, open and search the cupboard along the northern wall to obtain a machete, and if you don't have your 6 papyrus, then you can take it from the table. However, know that you'll either need to wait for it to respawn or hop worlds a few times until you have 6 in total. Supplies gathered, talk to Radamus Urkel and begin by asking, "Yes actually, what's involved?" And afterwards select yes to officially begin the quest, and continue through the chat where you'll be handed Radamus's notes. Now we need to head to the travel cart in northern Brimhaven, either by using a Brimhaven or house teleport if your house is located in Brimhaven before running northeast, or by teleporting to Ardougne before running south to the docks, and right-clicking and selecting Brimhaven on Captain Barnaby before crossing the gangplank and running a tad south. Alternatively, you can use your charged glory to teleport to Karumja before running west. Once at the travel cart, right-click it and select Pay Fare to then arrive in Shilo Village before running east and exiting the village through the wooden gate. Then going through the metal gate, and finally climbing over the broken cart, and afterwards run a tad southwest to a bunch of trees and shrubs blocking the path south. Now focus on the most northeastern tree. You need to stand on the tile so that you're just northwest of it. Where you stand when you cut the tree does actually matter here. Once you're positioned, then choose to chop the tree, which after a short while will see you chop it and progress south. Then run a few tiles south and choose to chop down the jungle bush, and you'll make it through the pass pretty easily. While in this area, just be careful because there's aggressive level 64 jungle wolves roaming about. Now go a tiny bit south to the fertile soil and then right click on your Radamus notes and select complete, before pressing spacebar to continue, which will see you attempt to map the middle jungle area. Should you fail, you'll break your charcoal and or papyrus and you'll need to try again. However, should you succeed, you'll just use up 1 papyrus and successfully map that section of the jungle. Once you've successfully mapped the middle of the jungle, it's time to continue. Optionally, to complete a medium Karumja diary task, you can run southeast until you're near the rare tree symbol before chopping 1 teak log from a tree. It's a small detour that I think is worth it. Following this, run east until you're just a tad northeast of the most eastern rare tree sign on the map. and then right click on your Radamus notes and select complete before pressing spacebar to continue, which will see you attempt to map the eastern jungle area. Once again, if you fail, you'll break your charcoal and or papyrus, but if you succeed, you'll just use up one papyrus and successfully map that section of the jungle. After you successfully map the area, it's time to continue. Now while you're here, you can optionally chop a log from the mahogany tree close by to complete a medium Karumja achievement diary task. Next, you'll want to run a long ways west past some aggressive wolves and along the shoreline until you're southwest of the most western rare tree sign. Here you'll find vanilla plants, and you'll want to search them to obtain a vanilla pod. Now this is actually for the ceramic vase section of Recipe for Disaster, but picking one of these now will save you a lot of time down the track. Following this, run a tad further northwest before right-clicking on your Radamus notes and selecting complete before pressing spacebar to continue, which will see you attempt to map the western jungle area. Do this until you're successful, which will see you finish off mapping the jungle. Once this is done, run northeast back to the spot where you entered the jungle, and when you reach the clump of trees and shrubs, stand a tile south of the most southeastern jungle bush before selecting to chop it down. After going through, select to chop down the jungle tree a few tiles to your north, which is a different, darker tree than the one that you chopped to enter. But nevertheless, once you cut this down, you'll progress through to the other side. Next, you'll want to use Radamus's notes on the jungle forester nearby before saying, "Go ahead, make a copy," and continuing through the chat, after which you'll be given a bull roarer. Now clear out any excess logs from your inventory, and it's time to enter back into the jungle. As you did before, focus on the light, most northeastern tree and stand on the northwestern corner of it before chopping it, and afterwards going a few more tiles south and chopping the jungle bush to enter into the Kharazi jungle. Once inside, head a little south and then swing your bull roarer to summon Gujo. If nothing happens or you get attacked instead, then just move away from any monsters pestering you and try again. After he spawns, talk to Gujo and select, "I was hoping to attract the attention of a Kharazi tribe member." Then say, "I've been sent by the Legends Guild." Then ask, "Can you get everyone together?" And after he tells you about his evil spirit troubles, ask, "Is there any way I could help?" Following some more chatter, ask, "How do we make the totem pole?" before finally saying, "I'll go find Ungadulu." Great name. After the chat finishes, run west and a little north for a while until you're around the northwestern section of the Kharazi jungle. And here, nearby the north border, will be 3 grey rocks. Choose to search the most eastern rock, and after some text appears, go through it before selecting, "Yes, I'll crawl through, I'm very athletic." There's a chance you'll fail and need to try again, but once you succeed, you'll enter into the Viyeldi caves. Run a tad southeast, whereby you'll find Ungadulu trapped in a ring of fire. Investigate the fire wall and go through the text before you naturally begin chatting with Ungadulu. Firstly ask, "How can I extinguish the flames?" before then asking, "Where do I get pure water from?" and finish the dialogue, whereby Ungadulu is noticeably delulu because he's being possessed by something. Afterwards go northwest and walk through the cave entrance to exit the cave. Once you're back above ground, swing your bull roarer again until you attract Gujo and chat with him. Begin by saying, "I need some pure water to douse some magic flames." Then ask, "Where is this sacred pool of yours?" And finally ask, "What kind of vessel?" And after some more chatter, you'll be given a sketch. Choose to look at the sketch and afterwards teleport to Varrock with your Varrock Telly before running west to the anvil sign. With the sketch in your inventory, choose to use a gold bar on the anvil before selecting yes to make a golden bowl. Should you fail, then just head north to the bank and withdraw some more gold bars before returning to the anvil and trying again. Once your golden bowl is made, head north and it's time to bank and get ready for the next part of the quest. Now you can deposit your hammer, sketch and vanilla pod, as well as any logs, charcoal and papyrus you might have. Then you'll want to keep your coins, Radamus notes, gold bowl, bull roarer, machete and axe on you. Afterwards withdraw 2 lockpicks, your pickaxe and additionally one of each cut gem, being a sapphire, emerald, ruby, diamond, opal, jade and red topaz. You'll also need 1 Soul Rune, 1 Mind Rune, 1 Earth Rune, and 2 Lore Runes. When it comes to your combat setup, again a mix of weight reducing and combat gear is ideal, as you'll need to run past some level 83 enemies and ideally defeat one for an achievement diary task. On top of this, we'll be fighting a level 187 demon that drains your prayer points at the start of the fight. The demon is highly resistant to magic, and so a ranged or melee setup is best, with ranged being ideal if you don't have 43 prayer. This part is also very tight inventory wise, but if you need to use magic, then I'd bring along 1 less prayer potion and 1 less food so that you have space for runes in your inventory. Because of the demon's prayer draining effect and the need to use prayer to bless your golden bowl, you'll also want to bring along 2 prayer potions, as well as 1 super restore potion, with the restore potion being particularly important for those with skill levels right on the requirements. Then to help with the running around, bring along a stamina potion as well, and you'll also want around 3 pieces of high healing food, with summer pies being ideal. When it comes to teleports, you'll want 1 to Ardougne or the Brimhaven House portal, or alternatively a charged glory if you don't have access to these, and you'll also want to be wearing or have with you your charged ring of dueling. Finally, make sure that you have full prayer points before you take on this next step. Once you're all stocked up and ready, we now need to head to the travel cart in northern Brimhaven, either by using a Brimhaven or house teleport if your house is located in Brimhaven before running northeast, or by teleporting to Ardougne before running south to the docks and right-clicking and selecting Brimhaven on Captain Barnaby before crossing the gangplank and running a tad south. Once at the travel cart, right-click it and select Pay Fare to then arrive in Shilo Village before running east and exiting the village through the wooden gate, then going through the metal gate, and finally climbing over the broken cart, and afterwards run a tad southwest to the trees and shrubs blocking the path south. Just as you have before, it's time to go through. Locate the most northeastern tree and stand at its northwestern corner before chopping it, and afterwards going a few more tiles south and chopping down the jungle bush to enter the Kharazi jungle. Now swing your bull roarer until you summon your new bestie Gujo and chat to him, before selecting yes please to have him bless your bowl. This requires some umming and stuff, and there is a chance that you'll fail, losing 5 prayer points in the process. If you slip below 42 prayer, then you'll need to take a sip of your prayer potion before trying again. But otherwise, if you remain above 42 prayer, then you can try again right away. Keep trying to bless the bowl until you succeed. After your bowl is blessed, when chat options appear, simply exit the chat and run southwest to the water pool, which is located a tad above the most western rare tree sign. Once you arrive, use your machete on the tall reeds nearby the water to obtain a hollow reed, and then use your hollow reed on the water pool to fill your golden bowl, destroying the reed in the process. After your bowl is filled, run northwest back to the 3 rocks that mark the entrance into the caves, and then search the most eastern rock before selecting, yes, I'll crawl through, I'm very athletic. If you fail, just try again until you manage to get inside. Once you're in, run east to the northeastern corner of the room, whereby you'll find a bookcase covering a crack in the wall. Search the bookcase and select yes please, I love crevices, to attempt to squeeze through it. Should you fail, you'll just need to try again, and eventually you'll make it through. Then go southeast to an ancient gate and select to use your lockpick on the gate before going through the dialogue. If you fail, there's a small chance that you'll break your lockpick, but also a chance that your lockpick won't break. Either way, you'll need to try again. After you successfully pick the lock, you'll go through the gate, and then to your south will be 3 boulders. Select smash to bits on each of these to make your way south, though know that should you fail, your mining level will be reduced by 1. And so if you fall below 52 mining, then you'll want to take a sip of your super restore potion to continue, or you can just wait for your level to restore itself. Once you're past the boulders, you'll come across an ancient gate that requires 50 strength to unlock. And once again, if you fail and your strength falls below 50, then you can take a sip of your super restore potion to replenish your stats. Select to open the door and then select yes, I'm very strong, I'll force them open, to try and open it with your strength. Should you fail, your strength will be drained by 3 and you'll need to try again. But should you succeed, then you'll want to pray protect from Meelee and run south past the Death Wings before following the path that curves to your northwest. When you see a jagged wall, select to jump over it, whereby you'll be in a room with a marked wall along the western wall. Now, very importantly, you'll need to select to search the marked wall before selecting yes, I'll read it, and continuing through the text. Only once you've read the riddle can you proceed. Firstly, use your soul rune on the marked wall, next use your mind rune on it, afterwards use your earth rune on it, and finally use your law runes on it 2 times in a row, before continuing through the text and selecting yes, I'll go through to wind up in the next room. Within this next room will be 7 small pools of water, each with a carved rock sticking out of it. You'll need to use a particular cut gemstone on each of the carved rocks, and I'll have a diagram showing which gems need to be used on which carved rocks. Let's start out by standing in the middle of the 4 most southern pools of water. First, use your diamond on the carved rock in the pool of water to your south. Then use your sapphire on the carved rock that's in the pool to your east, and afterwards use your red topaz on the carved rock that's in the northern of the 4 pools. And once that's done, use your ruby on the carved rock in the western of the 4 pools. Following this, head northwest and stand in the middle of the final 3 pools. Then use your jade on the carved rock in the pool to your east, your opal on the carved rock in the most northern pool, and finally your emerald on the carved rock in the pool of water to your southwest. Once the final gemstone is placed, a small cutscene will occur whereby you're brought to the middle of the room and beams of white magic are fired nearby before a binding book appears on the ground. After the binding book appears, pick it up and then read it, going through the pages before closing it. Now we need to retrace our steps. Choose to use the marked wall to your east and go through it before jumping over the jagged wall southeast. Afterwards, continue following the path as it curves around to the north, popping on protect from Meelee and running north. Head to the ancient gate and a Deathwing bat might be attacking you at this stage, preventing you from going through. Take a moment to kill the Deathwing, which will complete a hard Karamja diary task, and afterwards, before any more Deathwings can attack you, select to open the ancient gate and spam click the first option to try and go through without another bat attacking and stopping you. If a bat is still attacking you, then either kill it or lure it away before trying again. Afterwards, smash to bits the 3 rocks to your north to go through them before choosing to open the ancient gate to go right on through it. Then just search the crevice to your northwest and select yes please to hopefully make it through, trying again should you fail, and you'll now be back at the room with the Ring of Fire. It's now time to fight the level 187 demon, who I'll call Nezi because no one has time for its real name. Know that the demon will drain your prayer points at the start of the fight, and so you'll want to take a sip of your prayer potion after the fight begins. The demon will also attack with melee if you're in melee distance, or if it can't reach you, then it will attack you with magic. When you're ready, use your golden bowl on any part of the firewall to enter into the ring, and afterwards use your binding book on Ungadulu to kickstart the fight, prompting Nezi to appear and attack you. Simply attack the demon and whittle down its hit points, but don't finish off the demon unless you have more than 20 hit points, as when you defeat him you'll be hit with a magic attack that can deal pretty high damage. This fight isn't really too hard, and in no time at all you'll likely have finished the demon off. After the demon's defeated, talk to Ungadulu and then say, I need to collect some Yommi tree seeds for Gujo. Following this, ask, how do I grow the Yommi tree? And continue by asking, what will you do now? Afterwards ask, how do I get out of here? And finally say, okay, thanks, to finish off the chat. Afterwards, drop your Yommi tree seeds and talk to Ungadulu once again before selecting, I need to collect some Yommi tree seeds for Gujo, to get 3 more seeds, before picking up the 3 that you dropped on the ground. Next, use your golden bowl on the fire wall to pass through it, and then head northwest and select to walk through the cave entrance to return to the surface. Once you're above ground, swing your bull roarer until you summon Gujo and talk to him, before saying, Ungadulu is free. He was possessed by a demon and I killed it. Then follow up by asking, what do I do now? And finally, okay, thanks for your help. After Gujo disappears, run east and a little bit south back to the water source, and after arriving, use your golden bowl filled with water on the Yommi tree seeds to see them start germinating. Afterwards, use your machete on the tall reeds to obtain a hollow reed, and then use the hollow reed on the water pool, which will reveal that the holy water source is all dried up. Once this has happened, swing your bull roarer until you summon Gujo and talk to him. Start by saying, "The water pool has dried up, but I need more water." Then ask, "Where's the source of the pure water?" Before following up with, "If I looked for the source, could you help me?" And finally say, "Okay, thanks for your help," to finish off the chat. Following this, use your Ring of Dueling to teleport to the Ferox Enclave before running west and drinking from the pool of refreshment to restore your stats. And afterwards, it's time to bank and get ready for the next part. For this, you can deposit your binding book and you can drop any rocks or hollow weeds that you have. Then keep your coins on you, as well as your Radimus notes, your golden bowl, your bull roarer, your machete, rune or dragon axe, 2 lockpicks, picking up an extra if you lost one, your pickaxe, and your Yommi tree seeds. Additionally, you'll want to withdraw a rope, an unpowered orb, as well as 3 cosmic and 30 water runes. Then you'll want a vial of water, your snakeweed, and your Ardougne herbs. You likely picked up these 2 herbs during the Jungle Potion quest or right before starting this quest, but if you didn't, then you'll want to take a detour to obtain them before continuing. And I'll pop up the timestamp to where I covered obtaining them at the start of this guide. Then I'd recommend that you keep a mix of weight reducing clothing and armor on, as well as your weapon of choice. Additionally, bring along 1 stamina potion to help with the running around, 2 prayer potions, 1 super restore potion, and optionally 1 potion to boost whatever combat style you're using. So for example, a ranging potion if using ranged. You'll also want 4 or so pieces of high healing food, with summer pies being ideal. When it comes to teleports, you'll want 1 to Ardougne or the Brimhaven house portal, or alternatively a charged glory if you don't have access to these. And you'll also want to be wearing or have with you your charged Ring of Dueling. Now we'll begin by making a bravery potion. Firstly, use your snakeweed on your vial of water, and afterwards use your Ardougne on your snakeweed mixture to create a bravery potion. Be careful not to drink this. I would then suggest withdrawing 2 more pieces of high healing food to help with the next phase of the quest. As you may have guessed, it's time to head to the travel cart in northern Brimhaven, either by using a Brimhaven or house teleport if your house is located in Brimhaven before running northeast, or by teleporting to Ardougne before running south to the docks and right-clicking and selecting Brimhaven on Captain Barnaby before crossing the gangplank and running a tad south. Alternatively, you can use your charged glory to teleport to Karumja before running west. Once at the travel cart, right-click it and select Pay Fare to then arrive in Shilo Village before running east and exiting the village through the wooden gate, then going through the metal gate, and finally climbing over the broken cart, and afterwards run a tad southwest to the trees and shrubs blocking the path south. Just as you have before, it's time to go through. Locate the most northeastern tree and stand at its northwestern corner before chopping it, and afterwards going a few more tiles south and chopping down the jungle bush to enter the Kharazi jungle. Once you're through, run west for a long ways back to the 3 rocks at the northwestern area of the Kharazi jungle, before searching the rocks and selecting, "Yes, I'll crawl through, I'm very athletic," to head down into the cave. Trying again should you fail. Now don't hate me, but we need to return back to the room with all of the pools. Start by running east and searching the bookcase before selecting, "Yes please, I love crevices," to go through. If you fail, just keep trying until you make it. Then head southeast and use your lockpick on the ancient gate and go through the text to try and unlock it. Should you fail, keep trying by using your lockpick on the gate until you make it through. Now select to smash to bits the 3 boulders to your south, drinking a dose of your super restore potion if you fall below 52 mining from failing. Afterwards, select to open the ancient gate before selecting selecting, yes, I'm very strong, I'll force them open. Again, should you fall below 50 strength from failures, then drink a dose of your super restore potion. Then pop on protect from Meelee and run south past the Deathwing bats before following the tunnel as it loops northwest. Then jump over the jagged wall, and following this, select to use the marked wall to your west to go through it. You will now be back at the room with the pools of water. Head northwest a little until you reach the ancient gate, and then choose to cast Charge Water Orb on the gate to open it and automatically go through. Following this, head north and then use your rope on the winch. Now before climbing down, it's time to drink the Bravery Potion. Select to drink it and then say, yes, I'll bravely drink the Bravery Potion to down it. Now ensure that you have at least 21 health. If the rope has disappeared, then search the winch to make it reappear and then select to climb down the winch. Before selecting, I'm not scared, let's go, to head down. Note that there's a chance you can take a decent chunk of damage doing this. As soon as you land, you'll notice a blue hat close by. Try to take it, which will cause Viyeldi to appear and talk to you. Go through the chat, and afterwards ensure that you have above 50 or so health and climb over the rocky ledges. Selecting, yes, I can think of nothing more exciting each time to continue. There is a chance that you can fall right to the bottom if you fail and take a large amount of damage, so it's important to keep your health high at around 50 or so throughout the climb down to the bottom of the area. Also, yes, making it so you have to click a text option for every single obstacle was an interesting design choice. Once you're at the bottom, locate one of the level 106 skeletons and defeat them. You can just pray protect from Meelee, or alternatively safe spot them by trapping them behind one of the ore rocks. Ensure that you have one free inventory space, and once a level 106 skeleton is defeated, you'll be given a chunk of crystal. Afterwards, head east and defeat one of the level 100 skeletons, using the same methods and making sure that you have one free inventory space to be given a hunk of crystal once you defeat it. Finally, go southeast and then defeat one of the level 92 skeletons, again making sure that you have a free inventory space to then be given a lump of crystal after it's beaten. After obtaining all 3 crystals, run to the furnace at the northeastern corner of the room, and after arriving at it, use each of the 3 pieces of crystal on the furnace before going through the text. Once you've done this with all 3 pieces and gone through the text, you'll be given a heart crystal. Now take a look at your minimap and you'll notice the walls around the area make white lines on the minimap, and these create the shape of a dragon's head on the minimap. Go to the eye of the dragon's head in the middle of the room, whereby you'll find a searchable mossy rock. Use your heart crystal on the mossy rock to turn it a brighter color. Afterwards, run southeast in the room for a little while until you come across a shimmering field leading further south. Turn your camera so that you're facing it, and then to the side you'll notice a recess in the rock. Use your heart crystal on the recess, which will then allow you to walk through the shimmering field. Once you're on the other side of the field, run west past the lesser demons, popping on protect from Meelee if needed, until you then reach a boulder next to some water. Stand to the east of the boulder and then select to push it, which will cause a level 187 ghost to spawn and talk to you. Begin the chat by saying, "Who's asking?" Afterwards ask, "What can I do about that?" Following this, say, "I'll do what I must to get the water." And finally, after some more dialogue, say, "Okay, I'll do it," before finishing off the chat, which will see the ghost disappear. Now you'll be handed a dark dagger. Equip the dark dagger and then run east, popping on protect from Meelee if needed as you run past the lesser demons before going north, passing back through the shimmering field. Afterwards, run northwest for a little while until you reach the base of the path upwards. Then climb over the rocks all the way around and up the looping path until you reach the top, where you'll find the blue hat. Now we are going to take the evil path here, because while it'll make the final fight a little harder, it'll definitely save a lot of time overall. Wield your dagger and then try to take the blue hat. And after Viyeldi appears, right click and select attack attack on him to defeat him, and your dark dagger should now be a glowing dagger. Glowing dagger in hand, ensure that you have over 50 health, and then climb back down to the bottom by going over the rocks once again, looping down and hoping you don't fall off and take a big hit. After reaching the bottom, run southeast for a while back to the shimmering field before walking through it, and then run west past the lesser demons to the boulder, using Protect from Meelee if needed. Get ready to fight Nezi once again, which includes having your prayer points drained and being hit by an unavoidable dark dagger attack that can deal up to around 20 damage, potentially a tad more. Once you're ready to fight Nezi, stand to the east of the boulder and select to push it. The ghost will then appear and take the dagger from you, and right afterwards it'll take its true form as Nezi the demon and drain your prayer points. Once again, you'll need to defeat the level 187 demon. Ideally, just drink a few sips of your prayer potion and pop on Protect from Meelee, which will make the fight very straightforward, but note that at some point in the fight, Nezi might throw the dark dagger at you, dealing up to around 20 damage and potentially even more, so you'll want to keep your health nice and high. Note that this dagger attack can only happen once during the fight. As you can see, I searched around a bit for a safe spot where you can pray Protect from magic and eventually found one, so use that if you wish to. Once the demon's defeated, stand east of the boulder and select to push it, which will see you unblock the stream. Double check your game messages to ensure it says that you pushed the boulder out of the way. Afterwards, use your Ring of Dueling to teleport to the Ferox Enclave before running west and drinking from the pool of refreshment to restore your stats. And it's once again time to bank. This time we're getting ready for the final part of the quest. For this, you'll want to deposit your lockpicks, pickaxe, and empty vial. Then keep your coins on you, as well as your Radimus notes, your golden bowl, bull roarer, machete, rune or dragon axe, and your Yommi tree seeds. Finally, you'll want supplies for the final fight where you must defeat Nezi and the 3 skeleton warriors. So for this, keep your mix of weight reducing clothing and armor on. However, if you're below 43 prayer, then bring the best melee defensive armor that you have access to. Then you'll also want to make sure that you have your weapon of choice. Additionally, bring along 1 stamina potion to help with the running around, 4 prayer potions, and optionally 1 potion to boost whatever combat style you're using. Then take around 8 to 12 pieces of high healing food, bringing even more if you're below 43 prayer. And finally, you will want 1 teleport to Ardougne or Brimhaven, as well as 1 teleport strictly to Ardougne or alternatively a charged combat bracelet. Finally, make sure that you have 1 empty inventory space. Now you know the drill. It's time to head to the travel cart in northern Brimhaven, either by using a Brimhaven or house teleport if your house is located in Brimhaven before running northeast, or by teleporting to Ardougne before running south to the docks and right-clicking and selecting Brimhaven on Captain Barnaby before crossing the gangplank and running a tad south. Alternatively, you can use your charged glory to teleport to Karumja before running west. Once at the travel cart, right-click it and select Pay Fare to then arrive in Shilo Village before running east and exiting the village through the wooden gate. Then going through the metal gate and finally climbing over the broken cart, and afterwards run a tad southwest to a bunch of trees and shrubs blocking the path south. Just as you have before, it's time to go through. Locate the most northeastern tree and stand at its northwestern corner before chopping it, and afterwards going a few more tiles south and chopping down the jungle bush to enter the Kharazi jungle. Once you're through, head southwest to the water source located just above the rare tree sign. After arriving at it, use your machete on the tall reeds to obtain a hollow reed, and then use the hollow reed on the water pool to fill your bowl. Next, go a tad northwest, and I do suggest watching ahead before progressing, as the next part needs to be done quickly or else the Yommi tree wood can rot and you'll have to start over. Firstly, use your Yommi seed on the fertile soil. There is a chance that it will wither and die, or a chance that it will grow into a small shrub. If it dies, then just try again by using another seed on the fertile soil, but if it grows, then quickly use your bowl of water on it, which will see it progress to the next larger stage stage very fast. Afterwards, immediately use your axe on the Yommi tree to chop it. Then right away use your axe on the Yommi tree again to carve it. And finally use your axe on the Yommi tree a third and final time to turn it into a Yommi totem before quickly picking it up so that it's in your inventory. If you're too slow, then no stress, just get some more water and try again. And should you run out of seeds, then head back to Ungadulu in the cave northwest to get more. It's now time for the final fight, and again for this I suggest watching ahead before starting. For this, travel a tiny bit east to a totem pole, and know that for this fight you'll want to pray protect from Meelee before starting the fight and the whole time throughout it if you have access to it. And if you don't have the prayer, then ensure that you're wearing your best armor and have max health. When you're ready, use your Yommi totem on the totem pole, which will see the demon appear and chant to summon a skeleton. And in this moment, there's a chance that he could attack you around 3 to 4 times with the damage stacking, meaning he could potentially whack you with about 70 damage at once if you're very unlucky. After he summons the skeleton, you'll need to defeat it, but know that he summons 2 more skeletons for you to defeat and then appears himself to attack you. Each time he summons a skeleton or appears himself, there's a chance that he will whack you 4 times in a row while you are unable to do anything. And so it's really important that you have Protect from Meelee active. Also know that after you defeat the 3 skeletons, when Nezi appears to attack you himself, he will drain a large chunk of your prayer points. When you reach this stage of the fight, if you don't have Protect from Meelee, then you can use the totem to distance yourself from Nezi and then use range to finish him off while praying Protect from magic. Eventually, you'll defeat Nezi for the 3rd and final time. After the demon is defeated, you'll want to use your Yommi totem on the totem pole, protecting the jungle in the process. And Gujo should then appear and talk to you. Go through the chat with him to be given a gilded totem. If by chance he doesn't appear, then swing your bull roarer to summon him. Now before leaving, if you want to complete another hard Karumja diary task, then head a tad west whereby you'll find a leafy palm tree that you can shake. Select to shake it, which should see a palm leaf fall to the ground. Simply pick it up and then drop it 5 times in a row to complete a hard Karumja diary task. Iron Men will want to keep this palm leaf too in order to create a wrapped leaf for another diary task down the track. Radamus notes and gilded totem in hand, use your Ardougne teleport to go to Ardougne before exiting the city and running northeast to the Legends Guild. Alternatively, you can use your charged combat bracelet to teleport to the Ranging Guild before running southeast. Open the gate to head on inside and then run further north before going into the first building to your west. Once inside, talk to Radamus Urkel and go through the chat. After it finishes, exit the building and then go north into the Legends Guild itself before talking to Radamus. And then provided that you're ready to choose what skill you want experience in, select Yes, I'll train now. You can choose between attack, defense, strength, hit points, prayer, magic, woodcutting, crafting, smithing, herblore, agility, and thieving, and you'll receive 30,000 experience in that skill. Then repeat this 3 more times so that you've received 120,000 experience in total. Personally, I chose agility all 4 times. Also know that if you gain a level, you'll need to re-talk to Radamus, but otherwise the conversation will just continue. After you've received all of your experience, talk to Radamus once more and instantly BAM! Quest complete. In addition to the experience, you'll also be awarded access to the Legends Guild, the ability to wear the Dragon Square Shield, the ability to charge your skills necklace or combat bracelet at the Legends Guild or Fountain of Rune. You'll also now have access to the Kharazi jungle shortcut with 79 agility. And on top of all this, you'll be awarded 4 quest points. Post-quest, you can talk to Radamus and then ask him, have you got anything for me? To then pick up as many dark daggers as you want. And this dark dagger can be investigated to obtain the glowing dagger. Congrats on completing the Legends quest and thank you so much for watching. Catch you in the next quest!